part 3. The hair is looking different because while I was editing part 3, I realized that I was talking on too many topics, and so I'm going to focus on editing. Editing, when you look it up, there are a number of types of editing when it comes to books. So there's developmental editing, line editing, proofreading, copy editing, fact checking, structural editing, editorial assessment, and content editing. When I wrote my first draft and I got a bit of feedback, I realized that I needed to do all of these types of editing, and I then over edited the book, and because it kept on being transformed and molded, and I lost direction and I kept trying to change direction. And the one thing that I needed to do was allow my manuscript to breathe. That's what it needed. It needed me to step back, to look at life, to do other things, and then breathe. Another thing, which I had mentioned in the previous recording, and I'm going to bring it up even though primarily we're speaking about editing, was to do a lot more reading on the topic or within the genre, so that I get a few more ideas on how I can improve the work that I am creating. So that is, I guess, a part of like the writing process, but also part of the editing process, because now I'm a little bit more critical. I'm seeing, okay, I've written something that's kind of like this. How does it measure? We're seeing a complete and finished product versus my very rough product. How am I going to get it closer to completion and perfection? And that's where editing can be very exciting and frustrating, and you need to be a little bit disciplined. I did blur some lines when I was doing editing on my most recent manuscript, and I think the best thing I did was not touch it for a year. Now, I know a lot of people don't have the time for that. If you've got you're writing a book that has a set deadline when it needs to be met, leaving it untouched for a year is probably not going to be possible. But for a year, I didn't look at it, I didn't think of it, and when I came back, I came in with fresh eyes. I had been reading broadly, and I'd also been reading within this genre, so now I kind of knew what works, what's cliched, and I was doing a mix of developmental editing, content editing, line editing, and some fact checking. Now, when I was writing the first draft, I did do fact checking as I was going along. This is a habit that I picked up the first time that I tried to write a book. But editing process comes in many ways. You can get editors, but edit your book first before you submit it to someone else, because it'll be embarrassing otherwise.